Well, I guess it's about that time. Thank you all for coming. Welcome to the first of the bipartisan debates, or forums. We aren't going to debate, we're going to forum. Okay. Here's a little information, a little election information for people that don't know. Primary election ballots will be mailed June 5th and must be returned by June 28th if returning by mail. It is suggested they be mailed by June 21st. Okay, so get them in the mailbox as soon as you can. Unaffiliated voters can affiliate and vote in the primary by affiliating online at GoVoteColorado.com. And all voters must be residents of Colorado from June 6th. Okay? And I'd like to thank all the candidates for showing up. That's wonderful. It's nice when that happens. Basically what's going to happen, we've taken questions from the general public at large and whittled them down to a manageable number, kind of consolidate the ones we can. What we'll do, I've chosen questions here. Each candidate will be asked the same question. They'll have 2 minutes to answer with a 1-minute rebuttal. And I'm going to try to be pretty strict about that time limit. Okay? They'll have 2 minutes, or 2 minutes each as an opening statement, 2 minutes as a closing statement. Okay, and to begin with, would you please join me in the national anthem? No. Our pledge of allegiance. No, sing the national anthem.
I'll sing it.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, let the games begin. Each candidate has chosen a number. What we will do, I'll start first with number 1. We'll start the first question. Second question, we'll start with number 2. Okay? Here we go. And let's go opening statements. So let's just start here with Andy.
More than 12% of Grand County citizens are currently food insecure, an obtuse way of saying they are hungry. It is safe to say this constituency forms the core of many more individuals who are desperate for effective county leadership. While our state economy enjoys a lead position in a steadily growing nation, our commissioners squander this economic opportunity as they founder in dysfunction. Regular Tuesday board meetings are interrupted by longer periods of streamed silence as the board disappears to other meeting venues where no minutes or recordings allow for public review of their discussions. A process which should welcome valuable input and feedback from trusted citizens is steadily disappearing from view. For 4 decades in Grand County, I've trusted, respected, and depended upon my neighbors who work together to help each other clear life's hurdles. A recently admittedly flippant remark by a commissioner illustrated an all too common disconnect with the nature of our challenges. During an unrecorded lunch board meeting concerning finances, a discussion of saving money was had by foregoing paving county roads. This elicited the remark, "Pavement keeps me from having to pull my muddy car into the garage." We must share a laser focus on getting our government back on track so we can work once again with our neighbors to build a vibrant mountain community. Any public servant foundering in personal disputes or who bases any decisions on the poison of patronage or nepotism should remove their vindictive and dishonest self-serving agendas from the courthouse. My sacred respect for taxpayer dollars is born of the shared challenge of making a living in our community. I share your fervent desire to put these issues behind us so we can begin building again. 4 businesses I founded have added childcares, homes, huts, public trails, and bridges to our community. An intense excitement empowers my run for office, fueled by a shared vision of what our county can become.
Thank you, Andy. Merrick?
Thank you all. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Bob, for hosting this as far as the MC. Thanks, Carl and Sandy, for putting this all together. I think it's a great way to get people informed about what it is you're going to be making a decision on. And that's what I'd like to talk about here today. Because what you're going to be making a decision on here today is not about winning an election. Think about that for a second. It's not about winning an election, because that is just the beginning. That's just the beginning. People win elections by saying things about their opponent that aren't necessarily uplifting, that aren't necessarily always 100% true, that aren't necessarily completely informed. And those things don't serve the citizens of any organization well. Look what's happening in our national politics. The candidates spend hours and days and months tearing the next guy down. And what that does is it gives the public a bad taste in their mouth. And then we are forced as citizens to choose between the least worst of candidates. And then, after the election is over, which that's where the job really starts, then we wonder why the public doesn't trust us. Because we just spent all of our time tearing the other guy down. If we could direct some of that time and energy and redirect that energy into bringing forth a positive, collaborative vision for not only for Grand County, but for the country, imagine what we could accomplish. Imagine that. That's what I'm asking for you to do today. Look for the candidates that can bring forth a positive vision. See the big picture. Figure out ways to get things done. Advocate for Grand County at other events. Advocate for Grand County when we go to meet other commissioners. Let's find a way to get things done. This is about leadership. It's about solutions. It's about the future. Thank you.
Jane? Thanks, Bob. And again, thank you all for coming. I'm Jane Collette. Grand County needs a vision. What can we be? I don't think we know what we can be. I don't think we know how powerful we are as a county and how powerful we are as people. What you can dream, what you can do, is what you believe in. And that's what I want to help Grand County do. We need a vision of where we want to go. We do have issues in Grand County. We are working on many of them right now. We are working on a lot of our issues inside Grand County, inside Grand County government. We need a vision for where Grand County government can be as an organization. We've got some amazing people in the county government. I am thrilled as I have gone around and talked to all the candidates, all of our employees, many of our employees over the last few months, how dedicated these people are, how they all have individual department visions and missions, and what they want to accomplish for Grand County. We have a lot of dedicated people working for the county. My vision of leading Grand County is one of servant leadership. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to serve Grand County. And I feel that leadership, that serving, is best done by creating a vision and then figuring out how to execute it, getting feedback from all of you, working through the problems. It's not going to be simple. Sometimes you take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Sometimes we take 1 step forward and 2 steps back. But the important thing is not to lose hope. It's to be positive and to keep moving forward and to have that vision of what we can be. And I know it can be something really great. So thank you.
Thank you. Tom?
My name is Tom Whiter, and I'm running for Commissioner in District 2. My wife, Kathy, and I have been married for 40 years. We have 3 children and 5 grandchildren. Our son Ryan is a lieutenant commander in the Navy, and he's currently stationed in Hawaii. Our daughter Lindsay is an elementary school teacher in Loveland, and our youngest daughter Emily she works in New York as a media producer. I received my degree from the University of Denver in real estate and construction management. I worked in corporate real estate for Ideal Basic Industries and the Manville Corporation. Looking for a change in lifestyle, we moved to Grand Lake in 1987. My wife and I, we built and operated Grand Lake Lanes for 14 years. When we sold in 2001, I began working as an appraiser in the assessor's office and was elected as county assessor in 2006. I feel very strongly that the county has been going in the wrong direction for some time now, and a change of leadership is necessary. I truly am deeply troubled by the lack of communication, the toxic atmosphere in the commissioners' meetings, and the dysfunction currently seen throughout many of the county departments. I believe that if you know something is wrong, you need to stand up and say so. My experience being on the Grand Lake Town Board for 18 years, the Grand Lake Fire Department Board for 20 years, the Grand Lake Planning Department, or the Planning Commission, has given me the managerial, the financial, and the people skills required to be an effective commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Richard?
Good evening. I'm Richard Chimino. I was born in 1971 in Albuquerque and grew up in Raton, New Mexico. I went to college at the Air Force Academy and graduated in 1994. After college, I took my first oath of office and joined the military and served 21 years on active duty as an intelligence officer. I've been stationed in Texas, California, New Mexico, Virginia, Washington, D.C., and finally right back here in Colorado. I've been deployed to Iraq, Afghanistan, Cyprus, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, United Arab Emirates, and Djibouti, Africa. I've worked with the DEA, the Coast Guard, the FBI, the NRO, and the CIA. I've flown satellites, designed and built operation centers, worked base infrastructure, coordinated security forces, and managed safety programs. All these experiences I want to put to work for Grand County. While in the military, I went to night school for 4 years and earned an MBA. Then the Air Force sent me to school for a master's in strategic intelligence. I've completed 1 year of PhD studies at George Mason University. I've taught college courses for 3 years. All this education I want to put to work for Grand County. I work fast. I'm only 44 years old. Since I retired from the military last year, I started a new business, became part owner of another business, became a board member of the Winter Park Rotary Club. I joined the Lions Club, the American Legion, and the Grand County Historical Association. And that's not all. I'm building my own house, and I'm running for office to be your county commissioner. Many of you don't know me that well yet. I've been working hard to get to know all of you, and to let you get to know me and learn who I am. My postcards on the table have my personal email, my personal cell phone. Call me, email me, ask me questions, let's talk, so we get to know each other. I am Richard Chimino, and I'm ready to continue my public service as your county commissioner.
Thank you, Richard. Chaz, last but not least.
Hi, my name is Chaz McConnell, and I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I've had the privilege of living in this beautiful county for 36 years. I arrived with a college diploma, my work ethic, and $58 in my pocket. I met my lovely wife, Ann, who is in the audience, who is has been fantastic. She's really been the rock in my life with everything that's been going on with the county. There's been a lot of things that my family's been targeted, and she is, like I said, she's been a complete rock and 100% complete support. We have been married for 25 years. We've raised 2 kids here in Grand County. Our son Lucas is enrolled in aerospace engineering at CU, and our daughter Caitlin is an honor roll sophomore at Middle Park High School. I started McConnell Printing Company in Winter Park 28 years ago. I used my construction skills to build my house in Winter Park Ranch in 1992. I understand the challenges and rewards of making a living in Grand County. I ski, hunt, fish, and feel very lucky and proud to call this community my home. Grand County has given me everything that I have, absolutely everything. I have a proven record of conducting thorough research, identifying problems, and seeking solutions. In 2007, I discovered accounting errors being made by the county. Calculations were inaccurate pertaining to school impact fees collected from developers. I brought this to the attention of the county, and the mistake was corrected. As a result, $1 million in additional school impact fees were collected on behalf of East Grand School District. Very proud of that. After learning of the embezzlement in the building department, I spent more than 1,000 hours reviewing documents and identifying malfeasance in our county government. With the help of concerned citizens, I discovered gross mismanagement, lack of internal controls, and a lack of transparency. As a result of our efforts, commissioners adopted new policies that helped mandate accountability. I have done my home.
It's your 2 minutes. Okay. Okay. I don't want to.
Real quickly before you do the first one, we have 5 chairs over here, if you want to come sit. This is your only chance.
Come on down.
Come on down.
Go ahead.
Okay, we are ready to start our questioning. Barrett Linky chose number 1 out of the hat, so he gets the first question first. What steps will you take to attract other business to the county? Specifically, in lieu of the Henderson Mine jobs that were lost?
I think those steps are already in place. Not that we can't do more, but I think there's steps in place. We've got a economic development department, and I think those activities that is going on there are already seeing some results. One of the big ones is the Grand Lake Center. And yes, it's not attracting a factory, which I don't think is a feasible endeavor at this time, or a call center or something like that. But it does attract events, and if events bring people to town, and people to town spend money in town, then that makes the businesses that are surrounding those things sustainable and long-term lasting. So that's what we've already got in place. I do also believe that the Grand Enterprise Initiative is another aspect that works within the Community Development Department. They've had tremendous success. They've created 99 jobs. They've started or helped start 46 businesses and probably over $1.7 million in revenue sales that are directly attributed to the work that the Grand Enterprise Initiative has done. So I think we've already got those things in place, and I would like to continue those things because I think they've been on the way to being successful.
Thank you. Number 2 is Andy Miller. What steps will you take to attract other business to the county, specific to the location of West Grand?
Well, I did raise 2 sons in the county, and one's out of the Navy in engineering school in Fort Collins. The other one, I'm building a not tiny house, but mini house, a little bit bigger, over in west of Steamboat. I share the fantasy of every parent. We'd love to see our kids live here. But I recognize I've struggled here for 40 years. I've done well. I've been happy. I've had a great family, but it's always been a struggle, and I don't want to see that kind of struggle for the next generation. So the creation of jobs should be founded on 2 disparate economic opportunity categories. Tourism will always constitute a large part of our economy. We enjoy proximity to Denver and its international airport, and offer a palette of attractions unmatched anywhere in the country. But anyone sharing my 40-year history in the county knows tourism is constrained by 2 facts. Modest spending by visitors limits employers' ability to pay, and visitor numbers rise and fall with economic waves. Our holy grail has been seeking year-round professional employment both in the trades and in white-collar jobs. We need to look to examples like Steamboat Springs, where in 2011, the number of jobs in professional areas actually has outpaced their total restaurant and lodging industry. And they are a lot farther from Denver, a lot farther from the airport than we are. I think we've got a better ski area, we've got a better environment that could attract more businesses. So in each debate location, including tonight, I'll present an economic development idea specific to that community. I think that my career has proven my propensity for envisioning, which should be central to the job of a county commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Number 3 is Tom. What steps will you take to attract other business to the county, specific to the west end of the county?
Okay. The very first thing we need is to improve communication. Communication between the county and all the various communities. None of us can assume that we know what each other community wants or needs. Tonight, the question should be, Hot Sulphur, what do you want? And how can the county help you? What resources can we combine together to achieve that goal? As an example, and I promise you this is not, I'm not suggesting this, but the marijuana industry is $1 billion industry that has doubled in the past year, generates $135 million in tax revenues statewide, and it's an industry that provides high-paying jobs. Is that something that the residents of Hot Sulphur are interested in pursuing? And if so, how can the county help you in streamlining the permit process, zoning, location, etc.? I'm sure that there are many other ideas that the residents of Hot Sulphur would be interested in pursuing, and I believe that with the input from both the county and the residents, we could come up with plenty of additional ideas. As you remember, several years ago, the commissioners made the decision to purchase land and build a garbage transfer station immediately outside of town. This decision was done without consulting anyone here in Hudson. This sort of decision-making cannot continue. As I said before, communication is the key to being successful and moving forward. And, by the way, I do know of a 6-acre parcel just outside of town that might be available for sale.
Thank you, Tom.
Next is Jane.
Jane, thank you. West End is different from East End, and it's probably a little different from Grand Lake. What I see that is so wonderful and unique about Kremling, Kremling is independent, and Hot Sulphur is too. It's more focused on ranching, it's a little more rural. It gets a different brand of tourism than the East End gets, and I think those are all qualities that we have to build on. There's some terrific internet running through Grand County. One of the things I think that is so wonderful about Grand County that we haven't marketed would be people who would want to have location-neutral jobs, work from home. I think the schools are fabulous in West Grand. The STEM, the science program amazes me every time. I judge a science fair every year. So I think we need to build on those things that are unique. Highway 9 is reaching completion this year. We're hoping Summit fixes their end, and that gives a very great roadway from this end of the valley to Summit. I mean, because shopping and nightlife and things like that are important to a lot of people, important to millennials, important to people who want to work. So it's not that we want to take them out of the county, but it's an asset. I don't know if we'll repurpose Henderson. Henderson's going to be open for a while for a lot of reasons, but that's one of the things that Diane Butler is working on right now with the Economic Development Grant, and Henderson is helping too. How can we repurpose some of that area to create other industries? So I think what we need to do is figure out what does the west side of the county want, what is your vision for the kind of industries and businesses you would like to attract, and then we need to go out and sell it. We need to bring businesses in here and hope that people come because the area is beautiful, because the recreation is wonderful, because usually people come first. Businesses are people. So if we can get the people coming here and seeing what all the wonderful assets are on this end, the businesses will come.
Well, this may sound simple, but if we perform county government core missions with excellence, businesses will be attracted. If we have great roads, that helps. If we let roads fall into disrepair, businesses won't be attracted. If water quality falls apart, businesses won't come, but if our water quality is high, and there are lots of trout in our streams and lakes, and Grand Lake becomes so clear you see the bottom again, businesses will come. So that is first, do our core mission well. Now, if we want to go to the extra length to attract businesses, we can consider tax breaks and other incentives to attract businesses to move here. But those tactics don't usually work well over the long run. One possibility would be to improve internet broadband coverage and speed. Every year, more and more people work from home. These people would love to live in Grand County. They just need reliable, high-speed internet. The county is trying to address the problem both through the government and through private industry, but we have a long way to go. Look, I know public policy, and I know many techniques that governments can try to spur the economy, but I am Republican, and for the most part, I believe government should be small and usually serves its economy best if we, for the most part, stay out of the way. We can consider reducing some regulations, that usually helps. Do our county jobs well and let the economy run itself. But I am open-minded, and if Hot Sulphur Springs wants to get creative, let's talk. Let's discuss plans with Grand Enterprise Institute for free business advice. If Hot Sulphur Springs wants to fund some public transportation to help workers to live here, to get more tourists to the hot springs, then I am game to discuss it and see if the county wants to help. There are over 200 employees that need to get that big county building over there, and ridership for a Hot Sulphur Springs bus system might be the most consistent in the whole county. That building's like Grand County's Pentagon, you know, it's the headquarters. Anyway, I am open-minded, I'm game, but the starting point is just to do our mission well, keep costs and taxes down, and anything extra will have to be well thought out and well planned.
Thank you, Richard. Chad?
Okay, I'll read the right. What steps will you take to attract other business to the county, specific to the location of this tonight's West Grand?
West Grand. Well, broadband is critical. I want to tell you a story about, I like to ski, and I always try to talk to our guest, we call him our guest on the lift, and there was a gentleman, and I said, well, what do you do for a living? And he says, I'm a radiologist. I said, really, where do you work? He says, well, I work in New York City, but I live in Rendezvous, which is right outside of Fraser. And I said, well, how do you do that? And he said, well, I have high speed, and I can read x-rays, and my family's here, I bought a place here, I love it here, and all I need is high speed and a computer. So we took a couple runs, and we were talking about, how many times you go back? And he says, I only need to go back 2 or 3 times a year, back to New York. And that's just one instance. There's another gentleman that I know that's a ski instructor, and he also works at the liquor store. And you say, well, he's typically a ski bum. Well, he also has 2 doctorates in early education and adult behavioral education, and all he wants to do is live in Grand County. That's been his dream. I just want to live here. He teaches online master's classes at DU, as I said, and he's like, all I need is good broadband, good internet, and I can, I can live here, non-site specific businesses. And I think that's a real key for Grand County, and I think we have to get good, reliable broadband, not just in Kremling, but countywide. Think about it. This might sound a little far-fetched. A big company like Google, they have offices everywhere. What about Google coming to Grand County with 150 employees? And they're going to live here, they're going to make their living here, they're going to buy houses, their kids are going to go to school, they're going to spend their money here. It just makes sense. I mean, we have everything in Grand County that anybody would want. Look at the selling points, the lakes, the skiing, the hunting, the fishing, the mountain biking, all of that. The other thing that I would look at is a regional airport in Kremling.
Thank you, Chuck.